Hello, everybody. I'd like to call the March 18th, 2026 City Council meeting to order. If you're able, please stand and rise and for the pledge. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Grimmie?
Here.
Vice Mayor Askin?
Here.
Councilmember Petty?
Here.
Councilmember Casena?
Here.
Councilmember Sonard is absent. Councilmember Nackstead?
Here.
And Councilmember Danielle is absent. Student Representative Bowling?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Brings us down to approval of the agenda and consent agenda. We have no laydowns. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Askin.
I move that we approve the agenda and consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Are there any additions or revisions to the agenda or consent agenda?
I move that we add the proclamation for the Kenai Ski Team.
Okay, are there any other changes? Yeah.
We wanted to move
Yeah.
it to the front.
Yeah, I was just going to do it, but,
Okay.
but I appreciate that.
Okay. So we're okay then.
Okay. Would the clerk please read the consent agenda items into the record, please?
Thank you. Approval of the regular meeting minutes of March 4th, 2026, brought to you by the city clerk. New business, action approval, bills to be ratified, brought to you by the administration. Action approval, purchase order and purchase order amendments requiring council approval in accordance with KMC 715020, brought to you by the administration. Action approval confirming the appointment of the election precinct boards for the April 14th, 2026 special city election, brought to you by the city clerk. Action approval, special use permit to Rebecca Botcher, DBA The Fishing Grounds LLC for operation of a snack gift shop inside of Kenai Municipal Airport, brought to you by the administration. Action approval, second extension to the agreement with Guardian Security Systems, Inc. for security guard services at the Kenai Municipal Airport, brought to you by the administration. Action approval, confirmation of mayoral nominations for a partial term appointment of Ginger Keona and Patricia Segura to the Council on Aging Commission, brought to you by Mayor Nackstead. And introduction of ordinance 3509-2026, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations in the general fund legislative department to provide matching funds for a grant in the amount of $10,380 to the Alaska Children's Institute for the Performing Arts DBA Triumvirate Theater for parking lot paving and landscaping improvements. Brought to you by the administration. Public hearing scheduled for April 1st, 2026, and that is your consent agenda.
Thank you very much. Are there any public comments on any of the consent agenda items just read by the clerk? Seeing no one, was unanimous consent requested?
I'd like to request unanimous consent, please.
Okay, thank you. Is there any objections to unanimous consent? Okay, hearing no objections, the agenda and consent agenda are approved. You notice council, we have a room full of young people here. And both the boys and girls Nordic ski teams are here, and I'd like to do a proclamation for them because done some amazing things, not only as athletes but also academically. So if you'd like to come up and stand, I'll stand here at the dais. And we're going to get pictures too, so you're going to be halfway up here. Let me just stand forward here. Yeah, everywhere here is fine. Oh yeah, we can get the coaches too. Absolutely. They're all part of the team.
You might need
Quite the lineup.
you might need to double up a little
Hit
bit.
that .5, Kevin.
Okay, we got everybody? Okay. Whereas the Kenai Central High School, ACHS, Nordic Ski Team competed at the 2026 Alaska School Activities Association, the ASAA, Division II Nordic Ski State Championship on February 19th through 21st, 2026 in Wasilla, Alaska. And whereas the boys and girls Nordic ski teams achieved first place overall in the Division II State Championship. And whereas team members Isla Kraus, Kaylee Kraus, Ruby Davis, Teresa Fallon, Sophia Tooze, and Emily Taylor, Fletcher Dar, Luke Karpik, Chase Laker, Leaf Laker, Eli Pencoast, and Levi Strong demonstrated strong performances, leadership, and sportsmanship. And whereas the KCHS Boys Nordics team was recognized as the only boys team at the state championship to receive an ASAA academic award, achieving a combined team grade point average of 4.0. And whereas Chase Laker finished second overall in the 5K state race and third overall for combined times, marking the second time KCHS Nordic ski history of a boy placing in the top 3 at the state championship. And whereas Fletcher Dar, Isla Kraus, and Ruby Davis also reached the podium for their top Division II finishes at the state meet. And whereas head coach Kristen Davis, assistant coach Gordon Thiessen, and assistant coach Julie Laker provide exceptional leadership, guidance, and mentorship through the season. And whereas the dedication, talent, discipline, and academic commitment of the KCH Nordic ski team reflects positively on the KCHS and the entire community. Now, therefore, I, Henry Nackstead, Mayor of the City of Kenai, Alaska, on behalf of the City of Kenai, do recognize and commend the Kenai Central High School Nordic ski team for their exemplary performance. Thank you. Okay, do we want to kind of get together here? Can you get them all in a... It's really boring for them from here on out. Wait a second as the crowd gets ready to leave. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
You're much appreciated.
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent work. What group does that? That's really cool, isn't it? Actually, it would be the ski team.
Senior year, but I took like 4 arts classes and
Okay, let's move on. We have no scheduled administrative reports, no scheduled public comments. That brings us to unscheduled public comments. Are there any members from the public who would like to speak on any item not appearing on the agenda? Anyone? Seeing no one. That brings us to public hearings. We're now on public hearings. The first item, ordinance number 3508, 2026, accepting and appropriating donations to the Kenai Community Library for library materials, equipment, and programming brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Askin.
I move that we enact ordinance number 3508-2026.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to ordinance 3508, 2026? Seeing no one, we'll bring it back to council. Discussion, council? Vice Mayor Askin.
I will be voting in support of this. It's just always amazing to me how much money the the Kenai Community Library manages to get every year. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll be supporting as well. And I guess I do have a question. In the ordinance, it said it was public donations, so like individuals. I was wondering how that came about, if they were just individuals that came in.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to defer to Katja because I don't know the list, but
Of course, thank you. There were 3 separate donations. The first one, the biggest one, was from Deborah McCarthy. She's been, I think this is the 4th year that she's donated to us. It was about $10,000. And then the usual suspects, Derek Kaufman and Bob Peters also donated. One of them was $1,000, and the other one was $500. So we're just really excited and very appreciative of these donations.
Excellent, thank you. Thanks for all you do down there. Council Member Petty.
Yes, I'd like to thank these community members publicly and thank them for the rich support of an educational opportunity that will continue for generations and generations. And so thank you for wisely utilizing these resources that will richly bless everyone in our community, not just the city of Kenai. Thank you.
Councilmember Creamy.
I know I mentioned it previously, but I want to, I guess, reiterate that I appreciate the way you choose to use a lot of these funds, the donations and the grant funds, so that use of the library, not just the books, not just the computers, but the many resources that you're able to provide to the public with these funds is pretty, I think, it's astounding. A lot. I mean, everything from metal detectors to VCRs, and you offer a lot of really great, just different activities for people to do with their children, with other adults, and they don't charge anything. I enjoyed one last week with my adult daughter, and it was a great excuse for her to spend some time with her mom, and we did something fun, and we would not have had access to that if it weren't for the way that you and the staff at the library continue to use these funds creatively. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, any further comments? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Askin,
Yes.
Councilmember Petty,
Yes,
Councilmember Casena,
Yes.
Mayor Naxted,
Yes.
Councilmember Grimmy,
Yes.
and Student Representative Bowling.
Yes.
You have 5 yes votes, 2 absent. Ordinance number 3508-2026 is enacted.
Thank you very much. Next, we have item E2, resolution number 2026-15, authorizing the city manager to enter in a memorandum of agreement between the city of Kenai and the state of Alaska, Alaska Department of Transportation and Public Facilities for the Wildwood Drive Pavement Preservation Project brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Askin.
I move we adopt resolution 2026-15 and ask for unanimous consent.
I would second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to resolution 2026-15? Seeing no one, bring it back to council. Council comments? City Manager Eubank, you wanna talk on this first before we move on?
thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Yes, this is an agreement that was provided to us by State Department of Transportation. We've been working with DOT, trying to get this road repaved. It is labeled as, if not one of the worst roads here in town. And really appreciate DOT's efforts in working with us. This is an agreement that's required because of the flavor of money that is going to be used to pay for the project. So it has a lot of criteria and stipulations that come along with that. Internally, we've reviewed it, staff have reviewed it from Public Works through planning, also through legal. This is similar to an agreement we signed when Beaver Loop was reconstructed a few years back. Again, not the exact same source of money, but very similar money, federal highway money. So, along with this, we were asked to do a few amendments to the plan sheet that we submitted for the project. Those changes have been made, been provided back to DOT. So I think this is a good sign that we're still moving in the right direction on this. And this project is going to be combined with the Spur Highway Reconstruction Phase 2 project. Just really happy that we're to this point and recommend council provide the city manager the authority to enter into an agreement.
Thank you for that. Councilmember Petty.
Yes, I look forward to giving agreement to advise the administration to move forward with this because this has been a long time in coming and it'll be richly benefited for our community. Thank you.
Any further questions, comments? City Manager Eubank, what's the contract schedule on the Spur Highway years-wise? It's starting this year, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I believe that project is construction in 27, summer 26 and summer 27. I don't know their exact schedule. I think they have 2 years to complete. So as far as, I think what you're getting at is like when would we likely expect Wildwood to get repaved? And I really can't answer that. I think that will be left up to the contractor to incorporate best they can in that project. So it very well could happen this summer, but it could be the following construction season as well, just depending on how they decide to incorporate it into that job. So, like I said, it's been quite a process, but I think we're on a good track to get it taken care of.
Okay, Councilmember Grimmy.
I wanted to comment, I know this has been a long time in coming, and there has been a lot of discussion about whose responsibility it is because of where it is and where it leads. And in the end, I appreciate that we were able to come to a cooperative agreement with Department of Transportation to get this project finally on the calendar and get it done. It is a benefit for Kenai residents, but also our partner law enforcement agencies. And I think that while we might be paying a little bit more for that, in the end, we benefit from those fostering those relationships.
Any further comments? Glenn? I would like to thank the administration for all the work they've done on this project. We didn't own the right-of-way on any of it, so we might be able to do work on the surface, but nothing else technically. So, and that was no small task. It was not just a purchase of it. It involved others and groups and pulling that together. Then the coordination through the DOT and then National Federal Highways Administration and all of that, and probably lots of other details to bring it here, So very glad to see that. And I agree, it's one of the worst roads we've got. I don't know when that was paved. The memo does say it's at least 50 years old, but the road was built when the Army built the base out there initially in 1951. So the core part of the road is that old. And it's probably been expanded on. The asphalt isn't that old, but it looks like it. So anyway, this will be a very good thing to have completed here. So are there any more questions before? Okay, unanimous consent was requested. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Resolution 2026-16 is adopted. Oop, did I go wrong one? Okay. Resolution 2026-15 is adopted. I stepped ahead. So that brings us to item E3, Resolution 2026-16, authorizing the purchase of permitting software brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Raskin.
I move that we adopt Resolution 2025-16 and ask for unanimous consent.
I would second this.
Okay, moved and seconded. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to speak to Resolution 2026-16? Seeing no one, then back to council. Council questions? Vice Mayor Raskin, the lights on?
I'd like to hear a little bit more about the software. It sounds like it will be pretty exciting to get it going.
City Manager Eubank, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Vice Mayor Askins, I'm going to let Lee speak to it. He's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting on figuring out which software is best for the city.
Thank you. So what we're looking to do here is install or purchase, install, and implement permitting software for City of Kenai. So our end goal of this project is to have a permitting program that's going to be for our building department, for our planning and zoning department. Eventually, we'd start rolling that in with utilities and streets as well for things like driveway permits. But the goal is that it's going to be a web portal. People can go online, submit for all these permits. They'll come into our system. Everybody in the city that's going to have access to them will have all that visibility. So we'll be able to, everybody will be able to see it instead of paper passing around the office of who's going where. And we'll be able to see what's going on with the process. Some of the things that were difficult to figure out, there's so many softwares out there. There's so many different solutions and ways that they provide this solution. So it was difficult to narrow down. This is a solution that comes from this company's partnered with the Code Council. So that has that integrations of the building codes into it as well. We also wanted to make sure that it integrates with Laserfiche, which is our record management software. So we're doing that implementation as well, so that the long-term goal being when these permits are done, they'll automatically archive into our process, so we don't have to make that manual. And we've also done some checking on making sure that it'll integrate with our Cassell finance software as well. So when we're doing online payments and things like that, that it's automatically going to go in and not create a bunch of extra work for finance as well. So it was a long time coming, and progress certainly stalled as we were vacant our building official position. She has used this software as well and is happy with it. So she's on board with moving forward with this software as well. So that's what I have. Open for any questions.
All right, thank you.
City Manager Eubank. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to add one thing to what Lee said, because it also will involve permitting that takes place now in the clerk's office for taxi cab licenses, mobile food vendor permits, those types of things as well. So it's really expands, I think, to about any city department that's issuing permits, we could integrate into this software.
Councilmember Grimmy.
If I could vote yes twice for this, I would. I think that this is a smallish change that has the ability to make a large impact across a number of different departments within our city government. I think that it adds value to our staff's time because they'll be able to better utilize their time. And it values the time of residents and business owners, whomever might be needing these permits. And it also makes them more accessible. People aren't filling out forms in triplicate anymore. They want to do it on their phone, on the internet, and this gives them the access that maybe they don't have now. So I think globally, this is a great solution that I think has the potential to have big impacts across all of our departments.
Councilmember Cassana.
Thank you. And while I could not agree anymore with those comments, I am curious, will paper versions still be available for the folks who do love paper?
City Manager Eubank. Is it?
Mr. Fry?
The intention would be to try to move everybody to be doing it digitally. I'm sure it'll be a gradual transition process where we will still accept it until we get fully rolled out, but the long-term intention is that everything is going online and coming through the web portal.
Quick follow-up to that then, would there be a resource here physically for folks who might not be able to find that elsewhere or don't have a computer at home?
That's not something we've discussed, but I'm sure we could look into it. Might be something we could partner with the library or something for using open computer terminals.
Councilmember Grimmy.
I know it's extra work, but I would encourage you to make sure that we have a backdoor opportunity for people that don't want to do it online, if nothing else, to make sure that we're compliant with ADA requirements. or people that need assistance in filling out the forms.
Any further discussion? Unanimous consent was requested. Are there any objections? Seeing none, Resolution 2026-16 is adopted. We have no unfinished business. Brings us down to item H8, ordinance 3510, 2026, amending the official zoning map by rezoning the property at 10060 Kenai Spur Highway from conservation to suburban residential zoning district, brought to us by administration. Pleasure of council. Vice Mayor Askin.
I move to introduce ordinance 3510-2026 and refer the ordinance to the March 25th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for recommendation from the commission on an alternate ordinance at the recommendation of the administration, and to schedule the public hearing for April 1, 2026.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. Before we, before we discuss it, I think, City Manager Eubank, why are you recommending that we do this?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. So the administration, we were approached by a potential developer or looking to develop here within the city. Some property was located on this parcel. I'll be clear, we don't have a complete application at this point, but they showed interest. Based upon that interest, we reached out to the FAA requesting release of the parcel so that it could be subdivided and provide lots on it. That lease was granted to the city last September. The parcel is currently zoned conservation. The majority, it's an 81-acre parcel. The majority of the parcel is properly zoned as conservation. There are about 15 acres, we estimate, that we believe could be used for development. And so we propose to rezone the property to suburban residential based upon its proximity here in town, where it's located, its proximity to services. Suburban residential, it provides the opportunity for higher density, smaller lots. This property also has city water and sewer, which is a requirement of going to higher density in those smaller lots at one corner of the developable portion of this property. So we drafted an ordinance, took it to planning and zoning for their consideration, and they did make a recommended amendment and brought it here today. One of the other issues that was raised during the P&Z conversation was what we had asked for was to rezone the entire parcel to suburban residential. There was concern expressed by the commission, and I think valid concern, that the majority of this, or about 66 acres, is properly zoned conservation and should remain such. So what this would have required in the form it was presented is to rezone now, complete a subdivision, and then rezone the remaining 66 acres back to conservation. We think that's a valid point. What we're recommending is to provide a substitute or a different draft of the ordinance to create a split zone. We know split zones aren't super popular, but we would do a split zone based upon a meets and bounds description of where the subdivision would take place. And then once that subdivision would take place in the future, then both parcels would be rezoned properly. At that point, we would not have to come back and rezone. The administration still believes that suburban residential is the proper zoning for this. And that's based upon discussions that we've had, based upon the recent survey we completed here in the city, where the majority of city residents, those surveyed, believe that we have both a housing availability and affordability problem. And the problem, in our opinion, with amending the zoning to to rural residential 1, while it is consistent with neighboring properties, is the property likely, it would deter development because development costs are so high right now, you really need the density in order to make it pencil. So anyways, we'd like to, if it's referred by council back to P&Z, we'll provide an alternate ordinance that will amend by meets and bounds to create a split zone, and also again recommend the suburban residential as the zoning.
Thank you for that. I do have a note here, just as a reminder that since we are introducing it and moving it on, that our discussion would be only to the merits of the introduction and not to the ordinance itself. But I think that it's fair if you have questions of anything that the city manager just stated, now would be a good time maybe to ask, but that would be appropriate. So any further discussion? Vice Mayor Askin?
I'm curious, I understand that you don't have a developer yet, but you have one that's expressed interest. Are they wanting the suburban residential versus the rural residential, or can you address that?
City Manager Eubank?
Thank you, Vice Mayor Askins, Mayor Naxid, and Vice Mayor. Again, we don't have a complete application, but one other primary difference between suburban residential and rural residential 1 is the types of structures that are permitted. In suburban residential, you can have larger buildings, 5, 6 plexes. In rural residential 1, you can have permitted up to 3-plex, conditional for a 4-plex, and 5 or more units are not permitted at all. So it could be a deterrent to what the applicant is proposing. I don't know exactly what they're proposing. That's the stage we've gotten to. They haven't told us exactly what they want to build. So yes, I do think that zoning could be problematic to that development.
Thank you.
Okay, are there, Councilmember Petty? And let's try not to get into
No,
a
I'm not.
discussion.
Nope, I'm not going to
Okay.
discuss. Nope,
Go ahead.
Nope. It was just a nuance about the suburban residential zoning. That zoning opportunity allows for 5 and 6 plexes in that space. Is that what I'm hearing?
City Manager Eubank?
Sorry, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Petty, are they permitted in that zone at suburban residential, Planning Director?
Permitted up to 5 and 6 plexes, conditional any higher.
I would also add that this is consistent with other rezoning that the city has done. We have recently rezoned property along Redoubt Avenue where we went from rural residential, I don't think RR1, but we went from rural residential to suburban residential in those areas, again, because of proximity to utilities and things like that.
Any further discussion on introducing ordinance 3510, 2026? Councilmember Grimmy?
I think this is a good opportunity for us as council to rely on the expertise and knowledge of our city manager, of our department heads, and our planning and zoning commission, and accept the recommendations that they're making in regards to this change.
Any further discussion? Unanimous consent was requested. Are there any objections? Seeing none, ordinance 35, do we need to vote on it? Or we're just passing it on, correct?
Actually, yeah, so ordinance 3510, 2026 has been introduced, referred to the Planning and Zoning Commission March 25th meeting, and scheduled for public hearing on April 1st.
And unanimous consent was requested, and there's no objections. So we've approved passing ordinance 3510, 2026 on to planning and zoning. So next we have item H8, discussion action item recommending a motion to authorize administration to provide a health insurance premium holiday as a result of surplus funds brought to us by administration. City Manager, City Manager Eubank, do you want to provide us kind of a background on why we're doing this, or?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I'll start it off, and then I'll defer to our HR director who's here this evening. But, the city recently received a refund of 2025 premium we paid to Primera, who provides our health insurance for our employees. Currently, employees pay 13% of those premiums. The city pays for 87% of those premiums. We paid last year just over 2.55 million for employee health care. That was our premium. We received a refund of 179,000. So, and then I'll let Ms. Randall talk about, it was Ms. Randall and Mr. Swarner that proposed this plan to me, so.
Thank you. Thank you, City Manager Eubank and Council. So Terry asked Dave and I to take a look at this surplus and to come up with an idea of how to pass that back to our employees. We considered a couple of different options, and as we were doing that, we wanted to find something that administratively did not take a lot of extra time for our controller or payroll people, but also that reflected that 13% portion that the employees had contributed towards the premium that was refunded. And so what we came up with was, we looked at what the monthly cost for employees' share of the premium was, and that came to around $28,900. 13% of that refund was $23,320, and we wanted to offer that exchange of those numbers and the refund to go back to the employees. The easiest way to have that happen was to not have them pay their premiums for a month, and then they would get the benefit from it. So, anything to add, Dave? Any questions?
Do we have a comment from finance down there?
No, I think she pretty well covered it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I think this is a wonderful idea, and I'd like to move that we approve the administration's proposal to provide the 1-month healthcare holiday in May. Thank you.
You have a second.
I would second that, and I would also comment that I think that this solution is creative in all the good ways. It's fiscally responsible. It recognizes the value of our employees. It considers the increased costs that employees and their families might be experiencing. And I think that choices and creative solutions like this work to build increased trust and loyalty, which usually translates to improved employee retention. So I appreciate the both of you working together to come up with a really creative solution that I think is in the best interest of the city and our employees. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Mr. Consent.
I'm just going to echo that. I think that's really great what you guys did with this, and so thank you for your hard work on it and your creativity.
Any further discussion? Was unanimous consent requested?
I request unanimous consent.
Unanimous consent has been requested. Are there any objections to unanimous consent? Okay, the motion to recommend a holiday in May for insurance has been approved. So that brings us down to commission reports. Council on Aging, Councilmember Askin.
Thank you, Mayor Nagstead. I attended the Council on Aging Commission meeting on March 12th. They have had 2 resignations from the council, so they're looking for replacements right now, and I don't believe we went over a presentation from Mr. Nelson with Katmai. I can't remember the rest of the name of his company, but he went over the emergency plan for the senior center. And also the plan for the Vintage Point. And it was a work session, it wasn't an actual commission meeting.
Okay, thank you for that. Next, we have Airport Commission. Councilmember Sonart's not here. Do you have her notes? Councilmember Sonart emailed a written report to be read, so.
Yes, she said the airport. The Airport Commission met on Thursday, March 12th. HDL Engineering gave a 2026 runway reconstruction project update by Tom Davis, supervisor of the project. Equipment for the project will be moved down to the airport this month, so it's ready to start the first week in May. Also, they would like to set up core samples of the runway this spring. The old runway surface will be ground up. Most remnants will be used in the new project. What is not used will be given to maintenance. Under new business, they had a memorandum of agreement with Great Land Consulting and Training was discussed and approved. And Pet Relief's managers reported that pet relief signs have now been put up. The tie-down tenants have to relocate by May 8th to other places at the airport. The gravel strip will have to be closed from May to September, and they're hoping to get more fire training people up from the lower 48. And that concludes her report.
Okay, appreciate you reading that and her putting it together for you. Next, we have Parks and Recreation. Councilmember Grenny.
The March meeting was canceled. There's not been another meeting since our last council meeting, and the next meeting is scheduled for April 2nd.
Thank you. Councilmember Daniel is not here for Planning and Zoning. Does anybody have a report for what Planning and Zoning did?
Oh. Yes, that is me.
Oh, okay.
That is regularly me. You threw me
You do
off.
share it. Well,
Yeah. Yes, the commission met last week. They had a really short meeting. A CUP application for a retail marijuana store was dismissed due to lack of attendance from the applicant. They canceled their meeting on the 8th for our benefit and rescheduled for April 29th at 7 p.m. And then their next meeting is scheduled for next Wednesday, the 25th, here at 7.
Thank you. And lastly, we have beautification. Councilmember Petty.
Thank you, Mayor Nexstead. There has not been a meeting, but our next date will be on April the 14th. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. That brings us to report of the mayor. Just a couple of things, observations. Not this last Sunday, but the Sunday before, I was driving through town about 9 in the morning, and I think the city manager is probably going to be speaking of this, but the spur highway in front of Safeway, McDonald's, was blocked off, all the entrances. It's quite a busy area there where there's lots of access to the highway. Our police and fire and the troopers were there. I was going shopping at Safeway, so I went in there and it was still going. But anyway, I wanted to thank our police department and staged in the parking lots were ambulances and fire trucks and all of that. And obviously, was a lot of coordination and training that went into that for all of that to happen. And then I understand that the end result was in the positive too. So, but at any rate, since I drove through that, I just wanted to mention that. On March 6th, I attended the employee appreciation get-together party, and I thought it was well attended. It was nice and cozy there in the room we had. I enjoyed it, and I thought our assistant clerk did an excellent job as the MC. He's multi-talented. I'm learning new things all the time. So anyway, appreciate that. And we have a note here on our desk reminding us about the vote that's coming up. And I know the clerk's going to mention that, but on April 14th. I just get the word out, keep getting the word out. It's an unusual time for the city of Kenai to have an election. So just keep reminding people. And the last thing I have here, just a reminder for everybody that we do have a special meeting here, just us, next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Okay? That's all I have. That brings us down to administrative reports. City Manager Eubank.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. A few things to report. I'll start with staffing and recruitment. So we did conduct second round interviews for the airport manager position. And I'm happy to announce that Matt Kleiss has accepted the position. I got that acceptance late this afternoon. So I'll be working with Matt to determine his start date, but looking forward to that. I want to welcome Seth Hagan. He's a firefighter. He does have his paramedic certification. He will be joining the Kenai Fire Department in April. And currently we are recruiting for a public safety dispatcher and a part-time administrative assistant in the police department, as well as a number of seasonal positions are starting to pop up out there for city positions. The police department has their temporary enforcement officer positions open right now, and Parks and Rec has been working to get their seasonal slots out there. So members of the public should be looking for those on the city's website. And like the mayor mentioned, I too was at the employee appreciation event. I want to thank the council members who were there and attended. You know, it was very busy. There was quite a few people there. I'd like to also, we recognized 9 employees that night that met milestones as far as years of employment. 3 of those have been with the city for more than 20 years. So that's pretty amazing. On Monday this week, the department heads and myself, city attorney and city clerk attended some teamwork, leadership training here in town. It's called Clifton Strengths, utilizes a Clifton Strengths framework. It's really designed around supporting teamwork and leadership across departments. So I thought it was well received and really appreciate the department heads getting together. And we met at Veronica's here in town. They actually provided us the facility for the day, and it let people get out of the office and really engage in that. So I was happy with that. We did conduct a sealed bid auction on 4 parcels off of Beaver Loop that the city subdivided for use as gravel extraction. We received 5 bids on 4 parcels. Is that correct? I believe we received 5 bids on 4 different parcels by 2 different individuals. And we did end up with selling 1 parcel, didn't have any bids on it. But we sold 3 of the parcels. Proceeds are just north of 1.1 million. So I think very successful. Those sales are contingent upon the applicants applying for and receiving conditional use permits for gravel extraction. So we will see those applications coming forward. Briefly on KCHS pools, it's something we're continuing to work forward on. Mayor Nackstead and I have been invited to a meeting again with Mayor Machicki, other city managers and other mayors from around the borough next Monday to meet and talk about that. See if we can keep that moving forward and maybe hopefully keep the KCHS pool open. Earlier this week, representatives from Horizon Air came in. They really just came in to thank the city for our efforts last fall. I believe it was in November when they had a diversion from Anchorage to the Kenai Airport. They ended up being here for, I think they had some mechanical with the airplane while they were here, so they were here for several hours. But, airport staff, police department staff, I mean, it really is a group effort, but, we were able to deplane the passengers and still provide the secure environment that was needed, required by TSA, and it really was a team effort, but it was very much recognized by Horizon. So they came here to say thank you. And I will say also that the airport manager and I did not miss the opportunity to plug direct service to Lower 48 with them while they were here. So we take every opportunity that we can. We are in the middle of the budget process. We've had meetings scheduled all this week, talking with department heads on their submittals. So I'm working towards that draft to council by mid-April there. Last week, our street crew completed snow blowing of the KCHS soccer or football soccer field and the track. Want to say thank you to them. We just need the temperatures to warm up a little bit and melt off what little bit is left there. But appreciate being able to hopefully get a kickstart for those teams to get practicing for the spring season. I want to give council a little update on our special flight approaches that project we're working on for the runway rehab project. Those approaches, all the documentation has been submitted to the FAA. We're a little bit ahead of schedule at this point. It's now in the FAA's hands to complete their review and approval of those special flight approaches. So we're on schedule to meet our timeline. So yeah, I hesitate to say we're guaranteed anything, but I think we're doing our best, and looking forward to that. Really excited to announce we had a bid opening here this afternoon for the city's pump house project. Engineer's estimate just over $4 million. Bids, we received 4 bids, which is exciting. Low bid was $3,022,200, so nearly $1 million under engineer's estimate. Was submitted by UIC Construction. And I will say, I think the other question we always ask when we look at those things is what the bid tab look like. And I think that the low 3 bids were probably within 5% of each other. And the 4th bid was a little bit more, but all were below engineer's estimate. So I'm confident saying they were all bidding the same work, which is exciting for us. I think it's an example, too, of a successful implementation of BidWorks, Bid Express. It's a new platform we're using to solicit for bids and let people request documentation, things like that. And there were a lot of subs that downloaded plan sheets, and like I said, we had 4 good bids were submitted. So I think, that project's coming in below what we were expecting, so that doesn't happen often these days. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the city manager? Very good report. Lots of good things happening. City Attorney Bloom.
Thank you, Mayor Nackstead, members of council. I don't have anything to report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions you can think of? City Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor Knoxted. At each one of your stations today, you have an example of what the postcard mailers are going to look like. We had the provider will be mailing them out later this week. You should see them addressed to the voters coming in your mailbox by the end of the month. We had to get the voter mailing list out to them before the actual deadline to register to vote. So that's why we have some of these, because we'll have to manually mail anybody that registered after the 15th. And absentee voting opens on March 30th and available for questions.
Any questions for Clerk Sainer? Thank you very much for that. So that brings us down to additional public comments. Is there anybody from the general public that would like to address the council at this time? Do we have anyone online? Okay, seeing no one. Brings us to council comments. Student Rep Boyling. You're up.
Good evening, Mayor Nackstead and council members. Kenai Central has qualified both our boys and girls varsity basketball teams to the state championships this year. We wish them luck as they represent our community. Having said that, thank you to the Kenai Police and Fire Departments for their help sending off our athletes. They love it so much. And congrats again to the KCHS Nordic Ski Team.
Thank you. Councilmember Gremme.
I also want to wish the KCHS boys and girls basketball teams good luck this week at state. They're their first round of games today, and also good luck and good job because they had their tournament yesterday, their state championship tournament yesterday for Kenai Central High School cheer. Congratulations to Deputy Clerk Logan Parks on his scholarship award from the Alaska Association of Municipal Clerks. Pretty exciting that another example of small town Kenai doing well on a larger scale, larger stage. Want to remind everybody about the March 11th rabies and microchip clinic that our Kenai Animal Shelter is doing. And congratulations to the Ice Dogs 14U and 18UB hockey teams on their state championship wins this weekend. I'm sorry, was that yours? No, I posted it last week, sorry. And I especially enjoyed, as I mentioned earlier, the crafternoon at the library a couple weeks ago with my daughter. I really love that is an opportunity for folks to do something fun, especially when it's been 1,000,000 degrees below zero. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Casena.
Well, now that Bridget has stolen all my notes here, I'll just say ditto, but I do think it's great. Congrats to Logan. Congrats to the Ice Dogs. While they're not Kenai, they are Kenai kids, and they practice in Kenai, and so I think it's pretty awesome to see. Thanks to all the staff who helped plan and run the Employee Appreciation Banquet. I thought that was really cool. Thank you to everyone who donated gifts for that. And if anyone has the recipe for the wasabi dressing, please just go ahead and send me a message on that. And then also wanted to wish good luck to our KPHA teams competing at state, which is at our own rink this weekend. So, and thanks to Parks and Rec for running that all weekend.
Okay. Councilmember Petty.
Thank you, Mayor Nexted. I also had the privilege to celebrate with the employee appreciation and say thank you to all of our hardworking staff and employees here at the city. Just a reminder, March for Meals is coming up at the end of March, and so that's a fundraiser for the senior center over there, and Kathy Romaine would have the details for that. Also this weekend over at the Triumphant Theater, there's a dinner theater on Friday and Saturday if anyone has some extra time. I know it's always a wonderful event, so that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Askin.
So I'm the last, and everybody said everything.
Well, you get to repeat it.
I forgot that one.
You forgot that one?
If you forgot anything.
I did.
Oh, yes, Wednesday, the 25th is the Choose Respect. That's a walk from the Kenai Visitor Center, from the Leif Hansen Memorial Park with the Women's Resource Center. And congratulations to Deputy Clerk Parks for his hard work and his scholarship. I too attended the employee appreciation, and thank you to everybody who put it together and all of our employees. We have a pretty good A-team, I think. And then good luck to our boys and girls on is it the basketball championship and the cheer, and the Nordic ski team did amazing, and the Ice Dogs. And I think, remember, under all that lovely snow out there is still ice. I took a header the other day. So just remember, it's not gone yet.
When spring comes, it's going to come fast. It's just going to. So we have no executive session, no pending items. That brings us to adjournment. We're adjourned. Thank you.